comments and concerns, council members?
We have citizen.
Oh, citizens?
Citizen first.
Oh, we got so many, I just thought we'd ignore them. Ted Noftall.
Good evening, Mayor. Ted Noftall, Chickadee Drive in Countryside. I have 4 points for you here tonight. 3 of them you've heard before, and the 4th one is a new one. And it stems out, of course, as you might expect from the proceedings here 2 weeks ago. The first one is, Mayor, some of the obvious difficulties we've had over the last couple of years dictate that council start pulling some authorities back from the manager's office to your own body up there. Some good examples would be major hirings and firings, the Civil Service Board procedure, which a manager can elect to accept some recommendations, ignore others, pretty much turns due process on its head. And then finally, the period after the manager gives notice to leave and before he actually leaves, that needs to be rethought in new contracts. A couple of new departments, a couple of additional departments really should be reporting straight to council. An example would be finance. We've had problems with finance for a couple of years that might be alleviated if it had a direct path to council. And Mayor, some time ago, council agreed that they'd impose a hard deadline of Thursday evening for the agenda. That wasn't followed again this week, and rather than operate on a rather weak consensus, I would suggest it be ratcheted up to an ordinance so that we do have a hard deadline, so we can all have time to consider what's going to be brought forward. And Mayor, the new one is as a result of the proceedings here 2 weeks ago. That sneaky ambush attack on me in this chamber was outrageous. It was perpetrated by Councilman Burnett. Candidate Laney was in on it, and there's no place for that in these proceedings. And based on that, certain authorities need to be taken from council and given to a third-party tribunal like the Civil Service Board. Because I hear some snickers here, but let's listen, let's look at what's going on here in this thing. Council is going to prefer the charges against me. Council is going to run the public hearing. Council is going to render the verdict. Council is going to hand out the punishment. And to add insult to injury, Councilman Kennedy and Councilman Burnett have already declared my public guilt in this matter. So Mayor, there's a word for that. It's called kangaroo, a kangaroo proceeding. And there should be no place for that here in Port Orange, Mayor. And let's be clear, I have no problem with anybody attacking my political positions. In fact, I welcome that debate. But that's not what happened here. I was attacked in my position as a volunteer board member at a time when it was not expected I would be able to mount an adequate defense. That was the intent here last week, Mayor. But understand I will be mounting a real good defense if and when these charges are preferred. And I really want to insist on a level playing field as we go into those proceedings, hence my request, that 4th request.
Mayor, he's over 3 minutes.
No, he hasn't. He's got 11, he got 9 seconds.
Thank you, Mayor, for pointing that out to a man who obviously can't follow the time along with other things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, let the record reflect I was just accused of conspiracy.
We do not respond.
Okay.
We do not respond. You've got council comments. This is not an appropriate time. This is what we've always stood by.